So here we are in Bonn, and that is the MS Emily Brontë by Riviera Travel, and this is the boat that we are getting on and boarding for 3 days, 2 nights to Cologne. So we are walking down the bridge, ready to get on to the beautiful Emily Brontë. And yeah, you can see how large she is. Yeah, lovely. Once we were greeted on board, the first thing we needed to do was to check in, which took just a couple of minutes with our photos, and then we were taken by a member of the staff to our room. But first he explained where everything was. Our room was located on deck 3 and the number was 318, which was approximately in the middle. We had a French balcony suite which we opted to have in a twin configuration. It had a table and chairs, a nice size ensuite bathroom with the toiletries included, plus tea, coffee making facilities, a nice gift of some water bottles from Riviera Travel, along with the audio guides and a TV, lots of storage, and these panoramic doors, which was floor to ceiling. This is the sun deck, and those silver poles are for the parasols for sunnier weather. And this was a lovely area to sit out and enjoy the views. We had glorious weather. Here we have the panoramic lounge with plenty of seating for everybody and views both sides and all the way around the front of the ship. And this also included the bar. And first up, we were invited to have afternoon tea, which, as you can see here, was delicious. Continuing with the tour and looking around the ship, this is the main restaurant where we had our breakfast and evening meal. The ship has a hair and nail studio plus a fitness centre on board, which of course I did experience. Included in our cruise fare was the superior drinks package, which meant that we had these drinks on the first couple of pages from 6 p.m. until midnight, and then there were optional drinks that we could pay for on top. And as we sat down to enjoy a drink, the MS George Eliot came in next to us, which was lovely to see an additional ship to the Emily Brontë. Here is the bar area, which is right at the front of the ship, and a nice place to sit and unwind, plus an outside seating area too. After dinner, we went up on the deck to have a little walk around and take in some more of the sights before we went back to the lounge to listen to some live music. Good morning. We are just leaving Bonn and it's just gone 6:30, heading up the Rhine to Cologne. I sat with a hot chocolate watching the sunrise and then headed down to the gym where I set my phone on time lapse, and this is the result of a 30-minute workout, which you can see captured the sailing very well, albeit quite fast. But hey, that's time lapse for you, isn't it? After my workout, I headed back to the room to take a shower before breakfast, and it wasn't long before we actually started to arrive in Cologne. I was so surprised that it only took about 2.5 hours max. And as you can see, this is the famous Cathedral of Cologne in the background, which was a pretty great view as we arrived. I didn't get much filming of the food whilst on board, but all you need to know is it was incredible. There was a vast array of options available, including continental and cooked breakfast, as well as items you could order from the menu, such as Eggs Benedict. Included in the cruise fare is the options to go on excursions in the places that you visit, and we had a guided walking tour through the centre of Cologne for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. The guide was very knowledgeable, being a historian, and took us round all of the main sites, one of which was the music hall, and this red floor we were not allowed to walk over because the roof wasn't built properly, and when they're practicing you can hear all of the footsteps. We went up close to the cathedral, as well as seeing the main train station in Cologne, which was very busy with trains coming in and out the whole time we were there. We then carried on with our walking tour, going past some historic sites and buildings before we reached the main square of the city.
And you go close.
This is the marketplace, Marktplatz, and also the Rathaus, which is the town hall. And I must say, I do love a European city where the tables and chairs are out and people are just generally catching up with family and friends outside, and also eating al fresco. It wasn't too long before we got back on board and started sailing along the Rhine again, and we saw many of the museums that the Cologne Tourist Board told us about when they came on in the morning, and one that we wish we had definitely done was the Chocolate Museum, so one for next time for sure. We got to sit outside with some drinks and watch the sunset before getting ready for our gala dinner. But before I done that, I went and had a look at the second restaurant, which is the Bistro. So this is the Bistro, and it seats 28, and it's the second restaurant on board Emily Brontë. It's not actually open for our cruise because we have got a chartered cruise, but it's lovely and a great second option. On our final night of the cruise, the entire staff came out so that we could applaud them for the incredible food and drink and service that we had during our cruise. After dinner, we were treated to a very special show from Callum, the cruise director, who used to perform in musical theatre productions all around the world, including Broadway and also on the cruise ships. And he sang some fabulous songs from many of the shows. So I thought that I would give you a quick view of the sun deck and the jacuzzi, which is actually heated. Very nice. And here we've got like a golf putting green, and then the outdoor seating area with canopies. You can probably hear all of the seagulls there. We're in Bonn, which is ever so nice. There we go. On our final evening, we decided to go back and get changed after gala night and head for a walk, which took about 7 minutes. Here we are in Bonn, Marktplatz. Lovely building there. And monument. We just got off the river cruise and we're just having a little walk around. It was ever so quiet, but it was a Monday evening, so to be expected. And it did mean that we got to see all of the sights in 40 minutes before we headed back to the ship and went to bed before waking up on our final morning. So we're on the sun deck here in Bonn on our last morning, and I thought that I would just show you the little green area, little pitch and putt. But also, not just that, the nice heated hot tub right at the back of the ship here. So, sunbeds, and then a lovely, generally decent size just there. We were off of the ship by 11 o'clock, and you must excuse the shaking here, but as soon as we got off, the ship departed for a day along the Rhine to Amsterdam before picking up the next lot of cruise customers ready for their Amsterdam cruise to see the tulips. So that's the end of this video. I hope that you have enjoyed coming along with me for this 2-night, 3-day cruise to Bonn and Cologne. If you have any river cruise inquiries, please do not hesitate to contact me. This cruise was with Riviera Travel. However, I have access to many cruise companies and hundreds of itineraries all along the river and waterways of the world. Thank you for joining me, and please do like, subscribe, touch the notification bell to be notified of future videos, and please do share it so that we can have further reach and more people can experience the delightful river cruising.